What's going on, y'all? Back with another one. Before I get started, put the disclaimers out. I'm not better than anybody. I don't know it all. I'm not here to be an influencer. I'm not here to bring you doom and gloom. Um, I'm here to show things from my lens, maybe from other people's perspective, maybe for you to gain some insight on certain things. Because, a lot of stuff is not being brought out to the forefront. Because, people are looking at other things. Now it's football season. So, you know, a lot of things are going to happen during football season that people are going to be unaware of. There's things that happen, you know, let's say since the start of this new administration, and there's information that's not being brought to the forefront. And I'm hoping to bring that information to somebody that's unaware of things going on. I do use profane language. I don't curse. I don't use curse words. I'm gonna say this. I am a Moor. If Moors out there don't like profane language, the language that I'm using, I don't care. But I proclaim myself to be a Moor. That means I'm not black. There's no such thing as black people. There's no such thing as white people. I'm not African American. I'm not trademarked as food. And in case you didn't know, African American is trademarked as food. Right? Me being a Moor, and I'm not saying those in historical texts and ancient texts were all holier than thou and all that, because we had some dirty cats doing dirty things, and probably why we're in the situation we're in. But me calling myself a Moor, I'm tying myself to this land. Whether people like it or not, I really don't care. And it's not me forcing my knowing of me being a Moor or anybody else. So if you want to go by black, African American, no problem whatsoever. You want to be whatever you want. The main thing is for me and everybody else is that you're from here. You know what I'm saying? For those that are copper-toned people. And I ain't talking about no African coming over here and try to claim to be us or assimilate. No, you're not. No, that shit don't work. And yes, I have a problem with that, because that seems like the thing that's going on right now. And you got people who don't mind these people coming over here, no matter where they're from, no matter what the complexion, coming over here and doing the original owners of this landmass dirty. I don't see how people don't have a problem with that. I don't get it. Again, I'm not an influencer. To me, that sounds like I'm trying to program you. I'm not trying to program you. I don't want to bring that doom and gloom. I'm not here to say the earth is going to end. The country's going to end. I just want to show you there's some shit going on that you guys might need to. You might have to put your pants on and go down some rabbit holes. And it's not always negative. And people don't want to believe there's positive things going on. They want to hear just negative. People want to hear that. I don't get it. So I'm trying to show positive things. I'm also trying to show things that the mainstream is not putting out in the public. But there's things being done behind closed doors. So last night I did a video of the debt clock. Now, I know people are like, what the hell that got to do with anything? Fuck you looking at the debt clock. People should be checking the debt clock. There's things in motion, and these people aren't playing. This may sound like fantasy and, mythology and, just imagination that something good might pop off, that it's going to benefit everybody from this country, that are natural born from this country, that are from this country, right? Not some fucking immigrant, legal or illegal, if whatever, coming over here and now they're American. No. Again, I cannot be born in China and be Chinese. That shit, I can't be an American Chinese or black Chinese or African American Chinese. You know what I'm saying? People come over here, oh, I'm Indian American. I'm Nigerian American. Just like that. I'm Somalian American. What? Where else they do that in the world? Nobody does that. Just here. And I'm going on a tangent before I get started. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. Just so you know where I'm coming from. So when I say certain things, I may have to explain it where I'm coming from. Because you might not know how these people are doing wordplay. And there's agents within YouTube. Within all platforms, there's agents. And they're leading you to a path of some BS. Right? You know what? I forgot to... I'm going to do this first. Just to prove a point. So bear with me. And for, that's my laptop. It, I don't know, it seems like every time I want to do a video, it wants to pop off. So just to prove my point, or try to prove a point, how people are trying to put you in some shit. Let's see, what's a good one? Is this a good one? Alright, I think I'll go with this one. I think we'll go with this one. Bear with me for a minute. I want to just show you guys something. So, as you can see here, we have a chakra system, right? We have the chakras. So we know the red pill and the blue pill, right? It's it's a thing on YouTube where men are supposed to be taking the red pill, right? So if you look on this, I might be colorblind, but check it out. Let's say the pills are chakras. You got people on YouTube, influencers, you know what I'm saying? Podcasters, dating experts, and all this shit. They're telling you to take the red pill. But if you notice, the chakra for that is the root chakra. Right? So, but if you look at the blue pill or the blue chakra, that's the third eye. Why are these people telling you to take the root chakra? Maybe because it deals with sexual energy. But they're trying to influence you, like, either stay away from sex or, like, I don't know. It's like they want dudes to, like, hate women on some type of shit. And same for women, right? It's the root chakra. They want people to be like, hey, having sex is bad. They want dudes to go up to chicks, what's your body count? They make it seem like what a woman would do, what women do. You don't know these women. You don't know these dudes. But you got women who get on YouTube, and some of these motherfuckers ain't from here. I hate black men. I hate these men. You know what I'm saying? If he's not paying this, don't date him. If he's not doing this, don't date him. Who in the fuck does that? Agents. Agents do that. They're probably paying people. This is my lens. I'm presenting things from my lens, you guys. They're probably paying people to say stupid shit like that. You got people doing reaction videos. And to these dating things. And they'll scream out, oh, it's the red pill. They want you stuck in the root chakra. Neo took the root chakra. So he went into the bowels of the matrix, which is supposedly a woman's womb, is considered the matrix. I could be wrong. I've heard it. Right? In metaphysics or whatever, it's the womb. Now, had he taken the blue pill, maybe he wouldn't have went through all that bullshit. He would have been elevated already. Or he would have just lived a normal life. And maybe elevated at a later time. But they got you taking the red pill. Right? So, with that being said, I'm hoping I gave you some insight. I hope I brought a wow factor. Like, damn, I never thought about that. Why would you take the red pill? Why would you stay in the root chakra place? That's men or women. The goal is to get that third eye and that crown open, even your throat, even your heart. Why aren't they saying the heart chakra? Or the green pill? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't they saying that? Why don't you take the green pill, which is the heart chakra? Open your heart. If they're really there to spread something informative and positive. Hey, don't take that fucking red pill. Take the green pill. Then elevate to the blue pill and the purple pill. They want you stuck in that red pill shit. That gives them likes and subscribes. So that's just something I like to present. Something different. Something out of the norm. So, with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing that. We're going to jump back to what I was referring to in the debt clock. So apparently I'm not the only one. There's people out there that have a good idea of what's going on. They're not watching the mainstream. They're on other platforms and channels getting information. But because people put these, what they're getting out, people don't want to listen. They don't want to take it for what it is. They want to make it to something negative. They can't believe anything positive can happen. That's fucking crazy. Something positive. It cannot be total evil. It cannot be total negativity. It cannot. It does not work that way. So I'm going to let this guy talk about the debt clock.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, something big just happened, and they're telling us without saying a word. The USDebtClock.org, one of the most watched financial tracking systems in the world, just dropped a new hidden image, and it tells us everything we need to know loud and clear. The Fed is under construction and out of time. But that's just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, because if you zoom in right there on that coin right there that is right in the middle of the Federal Reserve Building is a 2021 silver coin that is showing the lost city of Babylon, a symbol of corruption, enslavement, and empire collapse. And if you know history, you know that Babylon falls. Now, in the background of the Federal Reserve Building, it's not random. That right there is Jekyll Island, the exact place where a group of secret bankers, politicians met up and organized a blueprint for what is now known as the Federal Reserve back in 1910. That right there is the scene of the crime. The Fed was born in secrecy, right? Well, it might as well go ahead and end the same way, don't you agree? And then we had yesterday, President Donald Trump visited the Federal Reserve Building.
I think we hear the president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. And it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and you're in charge of the committee.
Indeed, one of the reasons I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses, wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
It just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does it.
Are you including the Martin renovation? You just added
entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any...
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go. Yes, sir. So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you?
Coincidence? Or did we just witness the handover of the monetary power? And I believe everybody would love nothing more but Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. This way, we can continue on with this bull run and this super cycle. Y'all check out what freaking XRP and Bitcoin are doing. Let's go. Just weeks earlier, on July 4th, the USDebtClock.org released a 34-page PDF document labeled The New Money Revolution. It lays out everything from the history of the monetary system, where we ended up at, how we ended up where we are, the collapse of the debt system that we are in, the end of the fiat currency, and the rise of real asset-backed currency, the new money. Look, they are not warning us anymore. They are announcing it. Babylon is falling. The Fed is out of time. Are you ready for what comes next? Make sure you head on over to the USDebtClock.org and download that 34-page PDF so you can get caught up to speed and know what you hold. Let's go.
So, see? I'm not the only one. Right? That's some bullshit. A .org site. He said it. Right? There's a 34-page document. I went over some of that on my last video. You know, people aren't looking at this. But I saw this today. See, some things just fall into your lap once you look for it. Well, you don't even have to look for it. It just, boom, it's there. So as you can see, Trump has fired IRS Commissioner and Bessent to serve as acting IRS Commissioner temporarily. So the Commissioner, or the Secretary of Treasury Department, is now the acting IRS Commissioner. That, to me, you guys, my lens, that the Treasury is now going to take over the IRS as it always has been. Your checks do not come from the IRS. It comes from the Treasury Department. The IRS works for the fucking Treasury Department. The IRS is not a part of the government. It's like a subsidiary, a contractor. But now, Bessent, Secretary of Treasury, or Treasury Secretary, is now taking over the duties of IRS Commissioner. Do you guys know where the IRS is at? A lot of people will say, well, it's Washington, D.C. Well, it's actually in Puerto Rico. The IRS is in Puerto Rico. Yeah. How do I know? Because I had to send documents to Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. I think now it's just Washington. Right? So is this bullshit? Is this fake? Can you actually go on, what is that, X, and look up Unusual Whales and see the posting? I don't have X, but you can try it. Go ahead. Maybe they took it down. I don't know. But supposedly this has happened. So when people present information like this, y'all consider, well, not y'all, but people consider this conspiracy theory. Because it's possibly, well, confusing to some people. They don't know what's going on. People like me and others will consider that a signal. It is a signal. It is something positive. Something is coming. Now, if you would have seen my video from last night, I did go over the debt clock. And like the guy on this clip I just brought up, yeah, you need to go check the debt clock. Keep an eye on it. maybe certain things will make sense. So now I'm going to show you another video dealing with this. Another clip. I'm not a professional, you guys, so bear with me. And I'm actually taking it easy on the fucking curse or profanity words. Because I can tell, I can feel somebody, man, this motherfucker cursed too damn much. You know, I can tell. So for your virgin ears and holier than thou motherfuckers, I'll tone it down. My goal is to give you or present the information, not influence you. I'm not an influencer. I'm not an agent. I don't care who's looking at this. It's not aimed at one demographic. Everybody needs to be watching this shit. Oh, forgot to say. Let's start over. Told you guys I'm not professional. Here we go. Try it again.
The question is not if we're going to get some type of Doge dividend or Trump tariff rebate. That's not the question. The question is what it's going to look like. We are definitely going to get some money back. Now, I don't know what that looks like. I'm not in the 2 a.m. meetings, but I'm going to tell you this. We have been robbed and stolen from and slaves since the inception of the Federal Reserve. We will be getting money back. Now, I don't know what it looks like. It would make sense to me that, let's say, older people or retired people would get a lump sum. And it would also make sense to me that they'd have payments, probably based on age. We're getting some money back. You think Trump's going to let them just get away with that and be like, yeah, sorry, guys? No. We will definitely be getting money back. I would guess people my age and younger, probably monthly payments. But let's just be super grateful that the Federal Reserve is being exposed for what it is. And let's be grateful that it's going away and the IRS is going away. Let's be super grateful for that, okay? But I don't know if people have heard this, but we recovered gold from the Vatican that rumors say even into the quadrillions. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I will guess this, that it's more than trillions, okay? So as far as like money, we have so much money and so much oil and so much gold, and now we're going to have tariffs, and people are investing in America. Do you understand how wealthy we really are? So many amazing things are coming. I know things are bad for certain people. I get it. I really do. Just hang on. It is the greatest time ever to be alive. We're going to get a rebate. We're going to get something back. And everybody, even the Dems, are going to be like, wow. Okay? So hang on. What a time to be alive. Praise God. And thank you, Trump and team. We love you. Thank you.
So, once again, is that something negative? Is it a conspiracy theory? Huh? Is it some bullshit? We ain't getting shit. This motherfucker's making money. Because you got people who say that. Who will say that. Watch, when they get a check, that's not enough. They'll say some shit like that. I'm not saying, like, what I'm getting at is, who else would have done this shit? And I'm not putting everything on Donald Trump, because it's not just Donald Trump, you guys. There's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of you people that watch my videos, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And some of you really know what's going on. You can see it. You know what's going on. You know what this shit is really about. You know what the Federal Reserve is. You know how the birth certificate goes and all this stuff. Y'all know. You know this. So, she mentioned gold, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is what, yeah. So this is what Donald Trump had to say. The golden rule of negotiating and success. He who has the gold makes the rules. This was back in April. If I got gold and you're making fake dollars, who has the better advantage? I can wipe you out like that. You're making fake money. You're creating money out of thin air, and you're using people as collateral, which is what? Human trafficking? Right? Wouldn't that be considered human trafficking? If someone were to, this is hypothetically, this is for entertainment purposes, and I say that just, for no get back, but I'm going to use the actual words. I'm not the one, well, she got raped. Whatever. People can't even, I saw somebody that couldn't even say bio. You can't even say bio? And then you want to talk about freedom of speech and all this, but you let these platforms dictate how you talk? I could see if it's like straight hateful stuff, because people are going to react possibly in a physical way. But if you're trying to explain something and present things, you should be able to say what the fuck you need to say. You can't even say, come on. That doesn't make any sense. So next, what I want to share, as I was stating, what if somebody were to capture your baby's birth certificate and put your baby's birth certificate on the stock market, and they're getting paid for your baby's birth certificate? Well, how can that be? For those that don't know, this is the rumor. We'll say a rumor. This is not allegedly. We'll say supposedly, because I hate the word allegedly. That's a buzzword. Allegedly. No, supposedly, rumor has it that when you're born, you're worth your weight in gold. You know the saying? You're worth your weight in gold. So if you were, like me, 7 pounds and 14 ounces, I was 7 pounds and 14 ounces worth of gold. Right? They gave you a certificate. They gave my mom a certificate to sign. And she told on me. I just got some gold. Because some birth certificates has your parents listed as an informant. Right? Then what do? They take the seal of the baby, which is the footprint. That's a seal. Just like a thumbprint. It's a seal. And then what? These people do like numerology on you and shit? Oh, no, see, that's some bullshit. Okay. Think they don't know who you are and what you are. And they gotta watch your ass. So they put your footprint on this document. And they hand that document to somebody with a briefcase. This is the rumor. This is supposedly what's going on. That person with the briefcase collects all the birth certificates. And then takes that shit, supposedly, to the stock market. And you're being traded on the stock market. And then our parents decide to give us a social security number that is tied to said birth certificate. I could be wrong. I may not be explaining this 100% correctly. I'm not a guru. I've been studying this shit for since 2014. This shit almost drove me crazy. Amongst finding out about our history. And then once you know what certain things mean and you can catch the bullshit, it will drive you nuts. It will piss you off. And you have no other option but to keep going. And then you try to tell people, they don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear it. So, you're on the stock market. You got a social security number that's tied to said birth certificate. Without the dashes on your social security number, it's supposed to be an account. It's an account number. Right? With the dashes, again, you can go on, fuck it, I'm going to say it. You can go on gmeiutility.org. I think they changed it. They'll probably give you the new website. You don't have to do this. I've done it. I put my social in there, and I can see the countries that got my social security number. And again, when you call for your MasterCard or Visa, who's answering these calls? Foreigners. And they're asking you, what's your address? What's your social security number? This is somebody that doesn't sound like where you're from. And the only way to access or resolve a situation on your account is to talk to this person with an accent. And these people with an accent are coming over here, once again, and getting gas stations and hotels. And I just found out they own the fucking Golden Corrals around here. Huh? Tell me that ain't some... Come on. It's not adding up, but it's adding up. Somebody told them, hey, you want to make some fucking money? Learn how to make some fried chicken, macaroni and cheese and collard greens, and you'll make a killing, right? Get you a vape shop, right? And some weed, and grow it how you want, and sell it. You'll make a killing. Open up a store, put the lottery in there, get you some fucking slot machines and gambling machines in there. They'll be there all day. You know, sell them some Mad Dog 2020. And some other alcoholic shit. And rolling papers. You'll make a killing. Who else is putting this shit out there? There's people out there that, probably putting it out there. But come on. Come on. Let's talk about it. Why are these people coming over here? Anyway. But it all ties into what the fuck is going on. The monetary system has to change. These people are capturing our shit. When you do a wire transfer, you gotta pay an extra $20 fucking because the central bank gets its share for moving your money. If you use your money from a different ATM that's not your bank, you're getting charged. Why? It's my money. If you got $200,000 in the bank and you tell the bank, I want all my money now, they can't do it. They don't have it. They don't have it. I've been overseas and I've seen where, how much you want? And they'll have the fucking counting machine out. You know, they drop the currency. That's all you hear. Go do that shit over here. What? 200,000? If you take over 5,000, that's a red flag. And it's your fucking money. It's your money. If you take over 10,000, up to 10,000, oh no, that's a red fucking flag. You got to fill out a FinCEN report. You know, hey, I'm about to take out my money. That's, you know, not purchasing shit. I'm talking about taking it out, carrying it. You, come on. And we're supposed to be free? We're supposed to be first world? Really? When you come from another country, when you come from another country and you flying back to this bitch, they want to know if you came back with more money than you left with. Hey, you got anything to declare? Isn't my security, you know, my safety, shouldn't that come first? How was your flight, sir? Did you feel safe? Welcome back. No. How many bags did you carry? Do you have anything to declare? Did you bring any food? You know? Motherfucker asked me, where you coming from? I said the plane. Duh. Where were you before that? In the air? And where were you before that? In a hotel? All right, sir. So where were you before the hotel? In another country. But I was on a plane before I was in that country. What country was that, sir? Oh, I forgot to tell you. I was in this country. So I went from that country to the plane to the country I just came from, that where I just left that plane from that country. Do you have anything to declare? Do you have anything over $10,000? What the fuck that got to do with me coming back here? That type of shit. But do you guys see where I'm getting at with this? Is this some fake shit? Is it not real? Because it's positive. It's possibly positive. We're possibly gonna get some shit for this, right? For the shit that they've done. Because if it's considered human trafficking, this is where I want to get to here. Because if it's considered human trafficking, right? Let's say it hypothetically, it's human trafficking. Not allegedly. Let's say hypothetically speaking, that that's human trafficking. Make sure I got the right one. That is the right one, I think. Let's see here. So, did you know that Trump signed this? Did you know that? Did you know this? Executive Order 13903. Combating human trafficking and online child exploitation. Is this fake, you guys? Is this conspiracy theory? Is it? Does it? Can you tie it together? Why not? Is people coming across the border and disappearing, is that a myth? Or is it real? And is that considered human trafficking? People are children missing. Didn't they just find, 8 to 10 children at a farm? because ICE went in to capture people that weren't supposed to be here. They're illegal. Not that they can't come here. They just didn't come here the right way. So is it fake, you guys? Is it some Q bullshit that people always saying? Huh? I'm asking because a lot of people just think it's some bullshit. I didn't want you guys to see that. We'll get back to this document. I think this is it. Yep. Executive Order 13903 once again. This was written in January 31st, 2020. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America. Not just the United States. For those who don't know, the United States is a corporation. It is a 10-mile radius called Washington, D.C. So when you say you're a U.S. citizen, you're claiming that you live in Washington, D.C. But if you live in Florida, Texas, Arizona, you're not in the United States. You're in the USA. So take it as this as another example. One is a republic, USA. One is a democracy, United States Corporation. So when they say that's a threat to our democracy, that's why they say that shit, because it's a threat to their rule. Democracy is mob rule. A republic, the people run the government. So if the people say, hey, you need to stop these people from coming across into our jurisdiction. So let's replace border with jurisdiction, because everybody has a right to travel, right? According to the Constitution. And I believe everybody, and I say believe because I'm not sure, everybody worldwide has a constitution. But however, even though I have the right to travel, whether through air, railroad, boat, carriage, right? I'm entering somebody's jurisdiction. I have to follow their laws. So again, I don't get where people are so, because a Central American or a South American, because they're still American. Just because we're North American, our land masses are connected. They're still American. However, jurisdiction. I can't go to Colombia or Brazil and act a fucking fool. I'm in their jurisdiction. So how are people, no, you need to let them in and all this other shit. No. And people are not taking into effect. Another problem is it's not just Central and South Americans coming through the border. And people just seem to not fucking get it. Section 1. Policy. Human trafficking is a form of modern slavery. Throughout the United States. Now it's the United States. Now United States of America. Throughout the United States and around the world. Human trafficking. Look, I gotta go back. And see, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America. Section 1 policy, human trafficking is a form of modern slavery throughout the United States. See the difference? And around the world, human trafficking tears apart communities, fuels criminal activity, and threatens the national security of the United States. It is estimated that millions of individuals are trafficked around the world each year, including into and within the United States. As the United States continues to lead the global fight against human trafficking, we must remain relentless in resolving to eradicate it in our cities, suburbs, and rural communities, tribal lands, and on our transportation networks. Human trafficking in the United States takes many forms and can involve exploitations of both adults and children for labor and sex. 21st century technology and the proliferation of the internet and mobile devices have helped facilitate the crime of child sex trafficking and other forms of child exploitation. Now, I'm going to show you a clip. I'm going to show you this clip. I was just going to talk about the debt clock and all that. But what if the monetary system and trafficking is coinciding? They're in alignment. Right? So I'm going to find this lady, how she gives nope, not that one. She's going to provide an example of how the technology is being used to trap children. Where did I put it? Bear with me, guys. I'm not a professional. I am not a professional. I just want to get this point across here. How many times did I say that? Here we go. All right, that is 28. Stop sharing that. Now, here's how they're using the technology.
Guys, we're gonna try and make this into 3 minutes. Yesterday, don't mind my fucking face. This is all from stress. Yesterday, a lot of you know I have a 15-year-old daughter. I got a call from Apache Junction Police Department about 5:30 in the morning, letting me know that they were at my mom's house, that Lily had ran away in the middle of the night. She had stole her debit card and her phone. Within an hour, we had put Lily into the database, the national database, and they were tracking my mom's phone. They tracked my mom's phone about 7:15 in the morning in Douglas, Arizona. We live in Apache Junction, Arizona. Douglas is 215 miles from where we live. She was on her way to the port of entry. They shut down every port into the United States yesterday for my daughter. My daughter. My fucking daughter. she'd been talking to a boy on Instagram. She thought this boy was real. In the middle of the night, she decided to take an Uber that this boy sent to her house, her grandmother's house. Take that Uber 4 fucking hours to Douglas, Arizona, to the port of entry of Mexico. My daughter, my 15-year-old daughter. They dropped her off at the port of entry, and Border Patrol did their fucking job and took my daughter into custody. The car that dropped her off was found almost 200 miles in the opposite direction, abandoned on the side of the I-10 outside of Casa Grande. The person that was at the border waiting for my daughter, that actually went up to Border Patrol agents and specifically asked for my daughter by name, was waiting for my daughter in a black pickup truck with 3 other men. That truck is flagged for cartel involvement. My daughter was catfished and tricked by the cartel. 18 minutes they tracked her phone. 18 minutes. And I would have lost my daughter to Mexico for good. AI is how they're trapping these kids now. They will now use my daughter's images to trap another fucking kid. This is the vicious fucking cycle, and please, you guys, watch your fucking kids. Yesterday was a nightmare. And I'm still living it. All right.
That's a conspiracy theory, right? She's bullshitting, right? Because somebody's going to say it. That's not real. I had a... I know... she's like my sister. And this was 4 or 5 years ago. And we had this thing, you know, we call it a curb session because we're all neighborhood, you know, friends, family and shit. We would always meet in the corner and we, you know, share things or meet at somebody's house. So we meet at somebody's house and, you know, I explain to them what's going on and they don't want to hear that shit. So I tell them about little symbols that, you know, that signify little funny shit. Dare I say it? Pedophile shit. And the question was, how do you know it's real? I guess they're listening in because my shit just... And when you have somebody say some shit like that, how do you respond? The only thing I could say was, it's on the FBI website. Yeah, but how do you know it's real? You have people like that still. How do you know it's real? How do you know people are being trafficked? That's that QAnon bullshit. I've heard that too. You have people out there that still believe this shit or believe that none of this shit is happening. How do you respond to people like that? How do you deal with people like that? Well, the best way to deal with them is just, hey, leave them alone. Because eventually all this shit's going to come out. Right? If it's real. If it's real. Because it could be fake, right? That's what they say. That's not real. So, let's see if we can go back to this executive order. I mean, you guys can read it yourselves, but let's see. Of course, the 21st century technology and the proliferation of the internet and mobile devices. You just heard what this woman just said. The federal government is committed to preventing human trafficking and the online sexual exploitation of children. Effectively combating these crimes requires a comprehensive and coordinated response to prosecute human traffickers and individuals who sexually exploit children online, to protect and support victims of human trafficking and child exploitation, and to provide prevention education to raise awareness and help lower the incidence of human trafficking and child exploitation into, from, and within the United States. To this end, it shall be the policy of the executive branch to prioritize its resources, to vigorously prosecute offenders, to assist victims, and to provide prevention education to combat human trafficking and online sexual exploitation of children. So therefore, they're going to strengthening federal responsiveness to human trafficking. Right? You guys can read this. Protecting victims of human trafficking and child exploitation. Preventing it through education and partnerships, right? I think this is the one I was looking at. Coordinate. Okay, so under prosecuting human traffickers and individuals who exploit children online, Section A, subsection 2. Coordinate activities as appropriate with the Task Force on Missing and Murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives as established by Executive Order 13898 of November 26, 2019. Establishing the Task Force on Missing and Murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives. Wow. Under subsection 1, improve interagency coordination with respect to targeting traffickers, determining threat assessments, and sharing law enforcement intelligence to build on the administration's commitment to the continued success of ongoing anti-trafficking enforcement initiatives, such as the Anti-Trafficking Coordination Team and the U.S.-Mexico bilateral human trafficking enforcement initiatives. So, this was done back in 2020. When he went for re-election and supposedly it was stolen, then I'm going to show the clip. I'm going to show it. Because you have people that just love Joe Biden and were happy that that he beat Donald Trump. Right? You know who you are. Some of y'all are just waking up that or realizing that it was some bullshit. So, this gentleman here, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but
I state without reservation that the United States federal government is the world's largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history. The probability that thousands of these UACs are being raped at this very moment is 100%. Chairman Higgins, Ranking Member Correa, Chairman Bishop, Ranking Member Ivey, and the members of the subcommittee, I appreciate the opportunity to speak about the evil of child trafficking caused by the open border policies under President Joe Biden and his administration. I served in the United States Border Patrol for 24 years until I retired as a deputy patrol agent in charge in San Diego sector. I worked under 5 presidential administrations, and only one president secured the border, President Donald Trump. Border Patrol agents went from working and being supported by the greatest border president in American history to the worst, President Joe Biden. My last year in the Border Patrol was Joe Biden's first year in office. On his first day in office, I watched in disbelief as 94 executive orders cascaded down from Washington, D.C., obliterating every immigration policy that had been provided the most secure border in America's history. Border Patrol agents were forced to carry out unconstitutional orders that violated every law in the Immigration Nationality Act. President Biden, through Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, created policy out of thin air, ignored federal immigration law, and facilitated the largest mass invasion into America that the world has ever seen. The United States of America will have spent hundreds of billions of dollars in 4 years to fund the needs of over 50 million illegal aliens that populate our nation. Between 1 in 6 and 1 in 7 residents in America is an illegal alien. America has suffered the greatest demographic shift in modern history. After serving in the United States Border Patrol for 24 years, spending a year researching and writing a best-selling book entitled Invaded, The Intentional Destruction of the American Immigration System, and filming 2 documentaries, I state with complete certainty that Biden, Harris, and Mayorkas intentionally, strategically, and purposely weaponized illegal immigration and used it as a tool to fundamentally transform America. Inside this invasion, the unspoken evil of child trafficking, and more specifically child sex trafficking, has flourished. At the end of this current administration, the number of children trafficked will have grown to over 550,000 unaccompanied alien children known as UACs. This horrific number of children will have been arrested, released into America, and then lost. To put this into context, during President Trump's last year in office, Customs and Border Protection arrested 30,557 UACs who were accounted for and not lost. Conversely, in the first year of Biden's presidency, CBP arrested 147,975 UACs, most of which are unaccompanied for and lost. In 2023, Congressional Hearings Health and Human Services Javier Becerra and Director of Office of Refugee Resettlement Robin Marcos forced to admit that their agency had no contact with over 85,000 UACs. They were lost. What did DHS, HHS, and ORR do to correct this humanitarian disaster? Nothing. In fact, all 3 agencies created further policies and procedures to increase the efficiency of moving UACs from the border to the interior of the United States to unknown and unvetted sponsors. Unaccompanied alien children were being handed off to total strangers. Then they disappeared into the darkness of labor and sex trafficking. In fact, a year later, in August of 2024, the Inspector General with oversight over DHS issued a report stating the number lost UACs was not 85,000, it was over 320,000. My business partner Ryan Matt and I spent 6 months traveling across America, filming a documentary titled What is Treason Trafficked? The evil of child sex trafficking is difficult to digest and understand. However, after conducting numerous interviews with officers, agents, and whistleblowers from every alphabet agency and department, it was made clear to us that the federal government knowingly and actively facilitated these criminal acts.
There you have it, folks. Right? So is that fake? Is that AI? Or is that real? Is that some, MAGA shit? Huh? Because, again, you got people out there who just don't fucking believe it. They don't believe it. Me being a former military, me being from here, and I know I'm from here, it doesn't matter. Babies are being taken. Somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's mother, somebody's father, brother, sister, cousin, nieces, nephews are being snatched up. And what? We're just supposed to be quiet and not say certain words because YouTube don't like it? Fuck all that. Or you motherfuckers don't like when people talk the way they want, you know. Oh, he uses too much bad language. I can't watch it. You're not even paying attention to the fucking information. So of course, as we say in the military, if there's a problem, you got a problem, you better have a fucking solution. Don't come to me with a problem if you don't have a solution. So let's see if there's a solution to what I just showed you guys. So let's see if there is something else going on. Something, you know, something you might have missed. Or you didn't realize what was really happening. You thought it was the military. The military's coming to take us over. The military's coming to kill us. Now, what I'm about to show you is one of the solutions to the problem that I just presented. But they told you it was something else. So supposedly, I'm going to show you the clip first. So, anybody that's been in the military knows we do not conduct any training like that. No, we do not. So, what you just saw, or what I just showed you, was possibly an operation. Supposedly. And you can Google it, helicopters in LA, right? And either YouTube it. There's going to be different angles. They show you the before and after. The people that were recording, they just happened to be there to record, right? They actually showed, or they explained to the media that they heard bangs and all this. Now, again, we don't do that in a civilian environment like that. Unless some shit goes down, that's not training. That's something's going on. But the media interview wanted, I guess, the guy that recorded the whole thing that you just seen, and he's like, yeah, they were, we heard the bangs, and they show you the door, and it was to a museum. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have museum art or paintings as live art, they don't get checked at customs. So guess what? You can traffic through live art. So what if they did it again? So what if there was some live art? Did you see the guys running and they were carrying something? I'm not gonna try to speculate it was something dirty, but the word, the rumor, it might have been something alive. This was back in 2019, I believe. And all you heard people, oh, the military's coming. Because the military announced Jade Helm, right? Oh, the military is going to do operations. They're coming to get us. They didn't do shit to nobody unless you were in their way. So that's a part of the solution, right? That's a part of the solution. But is that AI? Is that fake? Because you got some people out there, oh, that's some fake shit. That's AI. Look real to me. So the next one, we'll try to trying to show you guys that maybe there is a solution, or the solution is being set in place, right? Because can't show you a problem without a solution. Gotta give you a solution. Gotta show you something positive. So let me share this. Because we don't do that negative shit. That doom and gloom shit. Oh, wait a minute.
Hi everyone, I'm Kash Patel, Director of the FBI. I'm excited to announce the results of a global operation to take down 4 of the biggest child sexual abuse sites on the dark web and bring the criminals who operated them to justice. As a result of Operation Grayskull, the FBI arrested 19 subjects here in the United States, and working with our international partners, helped coordinate additional arrests in 7 more countries. Shockingly, many of these perpetrators had no prior criminal records. They were people we knew and trusted, neighbors, colleagues, even family members. They were active in our communities and around our children. This is why we must stay vigilant. Investigations like this are thorough and resource intensive. They often take years due to the complexity of tracking perpetrators on the dark web. Specialized teams like the FBI's Child Exploitation Operational Unit work tirelessly to find those who harm our children and put them behind bars. Through global partnerships and dedicated resources, the FBI works to ensure that all children have the chance to grow up safe and free from exploitation. Rest assured, we will keep hunting these criminals no matter where they are. Thank you for keeping our children safe.
Is that fake? Is that some MAGA shit? Huh? For all y'all that just don't want to